Hey everyone, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This is my first video, and what I want to do is talk about things that people don't seem to ever talk about, as if they're programmed not to talk about them. And yeah, I've used the word programmed, which straight away it's like the word conspiracy. As soon as you use it, you're automatically putting yourself into a bucket or a pigeonhole where people can dig at you straight away and say, oh, he's just one of them podcast YouTube guys using that sort of language. Well, no, I'm using that language because it's the most efficient language to use, that you'll understand as quickly as possible so I can move on and get to my points. There are things that you're denied of that you don't even talk about. So, with Andy Burnham coming into power, I thought I'd make this video and just imagine, hopefully, that he or his people might actually see it, given that they're all about making a change and being revolutionary. And my videos are going to go through each thing that I think needs to be talked about that isn't ever talked about. So I'll begin. So growing up, I can attribute 50% of me to UK media. I'm on about, the things that you observe and that form you, other than your parents and your environment. 50% UK media, in other words, TV programmes, the sports, the news, the narrative, and the systematic structure of it all. But the other 50%, and it might not be 50%, right? I'm saying, but just use it as lay terms. I'll attribute to American media, the music, the opportunity it shows you, the landscape, the dreams of achieving things that you see them achieving in their films, in their TV, in the songs they sing about. But the truth of it is that you were fed a load of rubbish, because Great Britain, for example, and Ireland is a land mass, the volume of it fits into just America alone 44 times. 44 times. That isn't including Canada, Mexico, Central America, South America. Effectively, a person born in the United States with a passport and citizenship there, they could walk, at worst case scenario, across that entire land, which includes Canada, Mexico, Central America and South America. And when you look at it that way, you can see how a person I'm using America as a general basis of things, they've got access to a landmass that's probably in total about 300 times the size of that of Great Britain. Great Britain, including Ireland. We're kept on this little island that's separated by all these different country names it's given itself over the years, right? Your England, your Scotland, your Wales, your Ireland, your Northern Ireland, United Kingdom, Great Britain. Whoa, sounds massive. It's nothing bigger than the size of Ohio, a state in North America. And, their states are effectively like our countries in Europe. But the difference between calling it a state and a country, well, a country sounds more grandiose, right? But the bottom line is that's the truth of it. Their states are our countries. If you was to put the map of Europe onto the map of America and spread it out a little bit to make it fit properly and stuff, more or less, in terms of at least accessibility and direction, you could say that Great Britain and Ireland would be maybe like Washington State, right in the far northwest, and then in the southwest it'd be like where California is. That'd be like Spain and Portugal and Iberia, and then Florida would be like Greece or Albania, them Macedonia, them sort of places there. And then the northwest, which is like Boston, New York State, Pennsylvania, that's going to be Newfoundland, that's going to be like Maine, that's going to be like maybe Ukraine. Then all the Midwestern states, they'd be like Romania or Hungary or, in Bulgaria, and other places obviously as well. But that's basically giving you an understanding of my understanding of the geography of things, right? Now, I need a visa just to go and work in Europe. And that's even if I can get a job in Europe, because it's so, nitty-picky that you've got to have a skill and a qualification to work here and to work there and to do this and to do that. And everyone can come to the UK, or it seems that way anyway, right? And the reason why a lot of them can come to the UK is because of the sins of our fathers, which weren't sins to them, but being portrayed as sins now, subconsciously, i.e. our grandfathers and great-grandfathers or whatever, they've gone to India, they've gone to Africa, they've gone here, they've gone there, and they've raped and pillaged, or else taken things nicely. And by doing that, we've then profited from that and had access to create our economy and create our kingdom and have the roads built and have the shops and the capitalism and all of these things. Whilst the forebearers of those who suffered at the hands of the British, and I'm not going on the road of that, by the way, I get why, I'm not trying to say they were bad for doing it, yeah? Anyone would do the same thing. Is they are living in poverty, whilst we are apparently not. Yet spiritually, you would think that the universe will have their back moving forward. But it doesn't. Although when they come to the UK and to the Western world, they're hungry. And rightfully so. And they achieve things rightfully so. Those who have done so far. And all there's a new lot who've come over who haven't got a bloody clue. I get that. But the bottom line is, when you weigh it all up, it's about right and fair. But we've now reached a point where I shouldn't pay for the sins of my so-called grandfather, even though I've never met any of my grandfathers. And both my grandfathers come from elsewhere. They're both brown, right? So it isn't even me. But if you and your grandfathers, a lot of yous, right? It's not your fault. Just saying it as easily as I can say it to make you understand my point. But they can come here and come to a land where the GDP is, 10 to 15 times that of their own. And they can come here and they can settle down and work and have an adventure with other countrymen of theirs. And it's a wonderful life that they've been given. And rightfully so, by the way. They deserve it. Then they'll take that money back to where they come from in 10 or 15 years' time, where the GDP is 10 to 15 times lower than ours. They'll take their UK wage there and absolutely live like kings. Literally set up the next generation and the one after that with the money they've earned over here. It's a beautiful thing. But I can't do that. Neither can many of you. None of you can. Because the UK GDP, other than Norway and a few others, is the highest in the world. So you then say to yourself, well, what's the next best option for me? Well, you've got a British passport. You can always come back to England if you've set yourself up correctly. And you bought your home, first of all, so you have somewhere to come back to. But effectively, if you want to go abroad, then obviously we all know it's South America or Southeast Asia. We know that. Or parts of Europe too that are getting more popular. But as the popularity grows, the costs of living there will grow. And the accessibility will become less because you can't work, for example, in Thailand, which has been killed off. Vietnam's getting killed off. People are killing it, they're ruining it. And eventually the law will change. And not so many people will be able to go without a certain sort of visa or this, that or the other. And then effectively, the Brit that wants to get away will have nowhere else to go. And they'll be stuck here. And if you think people are angry now, under the surface, imagine how angry they'll be in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, when, for example, Southeast Asia changes its rules and stops you from going there as easily. Given the fact you can't even work there, so you can't really stay there, you have to go there with savings or create a remote income or an online income. That's now more saturated than ever and going to get more and more saturated. And what was once that is now becoming that. Less options. So, going back to America and the accessibility and the fact that an American doesn't even need a passport. He has half the world to himself right there. And I was fed a load of dreams through the media. And I saw a lot of things through American media. Or even, let's say, just in the British media terms, Elton John, the song Nikita. Oh, Nikita, you will never know. He's talking about a girl in the Russian army who he meets. But he's met her over there. And clearly by the video, he's not in the army. And there are other songs for more tropical climates. But the bottom line is, these opportunities, they're not afforded to me, you or I. And what we saw in the songs and grew up listening and watching, we can't actually have or achieve. And it was all a big lie. Do you see what I mean? And we're stuck on this little island that's getting warmer as the years go on, but effectively, for 2 months of the year, they're warm. The rest of the months, you're getting your shoes dirty. And you're paying £100 a pop for a new pair of trainers until they get ruined by the rain and mud. Just so you can keep up with the Joneses, and all this diversion of your truth, which has been devolved by this chase of things. And it's just stupid. And that's the life they've given us. And then, when I get to a certain age, I feel bad about chasing those things. When really what I really want is the escapism, the freedom, the ability, the spontaneity, the autonomy to be able to get off this frigging island every now and again without any fannying around, and to see my world, or at least my continent. And I would like to be able to work and live wherever I want without any fannying around with visas and passports and all this skills check rubbish. You're taking my world from me, and you have no right to do that. But yet, it's been figured out that, you can create a right to take it from me, to take it from you, and to take it from us. And I think that's a big thing that no one talks about. Because you're limiting my world to something that's not even 1% of the world, which is the Great Britain and Ireland. And I want more than that. I want my kids to want more than that. I want your kids to want more than that. I want everyone's kids, for generations to come, to have access to that without any fanning around and getting a headache. And when I say headache, it's not just a headache, guys. It's constant calling, constant writing, constant checking, constant reminding, emails, phone calls, which can take months, if not years, just to find out you're being rejected. So you don't know where to place your mind. You don't know where to place yourself. You're always in constant limbo. And that's the United Kingdom for you. Now, if you've got roots elsewhere that entitle you to be able to go, let's say if your dad's Jamaican, right, or your dad's, Pakistani or whatever, right, then you have got roots to that country. You can get a passport for that country. You can get an immediate visa for that country. And you've got more access to the world and more options than a person who is born here, from here, indigenous to here, and all those words. It's all unfair. It's all unfair. People are so mixed and they don't even know it. Which should really entitle them to a universal access. All people should be able to access the world in a universal global sense, without any fanning around. And when they start saying, oh yeah, but you're leaving it wide open for the terrorists, get away from me. Get away from me. If terrorists are going to terror, they're going to terror. They'll find a way. Don't even come with that. Stop even wasting my time with that argument. I want to be able to go and live and work wherever I want to, whenever I want to, and so should you. And the fact you don't talk about it is kind of like, well, why? Because you're bogged down, aren't you? You're running around all day long on the rat race, on the hamster wheel. And you don't have time to even think about these things. Because you're so competitive that you become like Schmeagol. The precious is mine. With your things. Without thinking what would really make you happy. What would really make you happy would be to have your things, but to alleviate that schmeagle in you, to be able to leave whenever you want without fanning around, to not take a holiday, guys. What, you're going to settle for just a holiday? And that's it, then come back here? It's already a subconscious admittal in your mind that you belong here and here only. For all time, other than a holiday. No, man. No, man. If everyone rocked up on the shores of Australia, 1 million people en masse, and demanded that they be allowed to live here, what would they do? How would that go down? Just as a hypothetical question, or wherever. Because for me, the country has gone past a certain point now where drastic action is needed. But one of those is the spirit, it's the soul. It's broken. It's just decrepit. People come like butter wouldn't melt, but they're absolutely sinister. And they've become this way. And I just know that if you were afforded access just to Europe without visas and passports, in like a United States of Europe thing, you would meet people, you would learn languages. Oh, and by the way, that must entail having the Channel Tunnel be made free to use. You can't be charging people for that. How much tax have you been paid? Buy it from the private company who owns it. That's your little get around, right? How you got out of it in the first place. Buy it back. We give you the permission to buy it back. Buy it back from them and let us use it for free. With constant repairs and updates so it isn't left. Yeah? And don't be hiding behind insurance. Oh, the insurers won't let us do it. Forget all of that. That's another issue with the insurers. They have too much power over everything. And yeah, you know, it kind of like is water. It kind of like flows like water and has led to the creation of insurance and all these policies and the fear from, you know, breaching a policy. But the fact you've got a policy in place for the protection just in case something happens. So the insurer and the premiums and all that, you know, scales and balances thing, I totally understand it. It is water. And if it's water, to me, it's natural. And in terms of being natural, it's the truth of things. But at the end of the day, that water is now drowning us. The water of insurance. It needs damming. Yeah? And it's too much. Buy back the Channel Tunnel from whoever it is who owns it. Yeah? Centralise it. Let everyone use it back and forth. Maybe set a limit on how many can use it per day. Alright? I accept that. Or how many times you can use it yourself per year for free without them paying for it. Something, we can get to that. But let people have the spontaneity to go and come as they want. Because I want to see Europe. I want to be able to meet people, network, look for opportunities. I want to be able to miss Great Britain instead of hating it for being trapped here. You know, when you go away for a long time or for a good period of time, you come back different. You come back cultured, educated, your brain is sharper, your tongue is more fluent. And right now, the people of the UK are broken, man. The slang they use, the slang that I still use now out of boredom because it's humour. It's a twisted humour that I sometimes use just to cheer myself up by saying silly little words that sound funny when you say them, right? But it's boredom. That brain, that space in my brain that I'm applying to that slang rubbish, it needs to be applied to something. So it's applying it to the only thing it has access to for us, for me, which is that slang, which then correlates into all the sub-genres of the UK that are just ridiculous, they're stupid, they're embarrassing. Whereas in the Europe, you'd apply that part of your brain to picking up language. And through that, that would create new neurons that make you sharper, more intelligent, more friendly and helpful, more courteous, more refined. And without even trying to create a false thing, it's the real thing. And how no one ever says anything just simply about having access to Europe and maybe making it an unofficial United States of Europe. It blows my mind. It then makes me think, how whipped are the UK people? How stupid are they? How bent over are they and under the thumb? That they don't even ask for freedom to get to see their world. And when they're told by the government, I would think, yeah, they are told this. Oh, it's for fear of retaliation from people who are anti-British. What can you say to that? That's a checkmate right there, subconsciously. They've got you. If you let them have you. But they don't have you at all. Because hundreds of thousands, if not millions of you, take off each year on your own. Because you want to get away on your holiday. So, Andy Burnham, if you're as revolutionary and as changeful as you say you are, which I hope you are, sort these visas and passports out. Because we don't even need them no more, mate. You can make something else up, whatever. But allow me and people access at least to Europe. I'm all about to go and come whenever we want. No more adverts saying, oh, if you book your Channel Tunnel trip 60 days in advance, you'll save. I don't want to save anything. I don't want it to be costing me anything, really, mate. Less is more. A lean system. No more stacks, yeah? A lean system. Where people can be held to account. And not be, shot down. Maybe approach and say you've made a mistake here. But at least we can identify who it was who made the mistake. And that person comes forward, says, yeah, I cocked up. I did this when I should have done that. Will you give me a chance to correct it? I'll give you a chance to correct it, mate. Go on, correct it. Instead of all this constant, and in the House of Parliament today, so-and-so was berated by so-and-so for, and it's some rubbish, garbage, gibberish shite that no one even can understand they're talking about. People make mistakes. As long as they know they've made the mistake, and they can come forward and show what they've done is wrong, give them another chance. People make mistakes. You don't just change something because it's made a mistake. That is either way you change it, or that person learns from the mistake to become more intelligent to the matter. All the way it works in the UK is so stupid. That's my opinion, but yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And yeah, it was a bit of a freestyle. I'm not the best talker in the world. Maybe I'll get better. But I wanted to say that, right? I wanted to make it apparent that things need to change. And having autonomy spontaneously is something that you need to talk about. Because being here 24/7, it kills your mind. It kills your soul. And after a while, you learn to hate the place. And you need to be able to miss the place to be able to appreciate it again. Anyway, guys, peace and love, yeah? Take it easy. Ciao.